Having trouble connecting. Well,
Hi,
okay.
everyone.
We're on though. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast for all that crap we love to talk about on your rovs. I'm Ronnie. That's Ben over there. Hello, my little Buntoon Tunes.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I've missed you.
I've missed you too. It's like I don't even remember how to do this. I'm like, what is this? Where's my record button? What are the processes? How do we podcast?
We'll probably fuck it up. And of course, we're going to do 3 shows today, so we'll fuck the whole day. That's just how we roll. One thing is
Yep.
constant after 11 years. We will fuck something up. Okay.
We always will, we always do. Proudly.
Yeah.
We do.
Well, welcome
Yeah.
back. It's good to see you, everybody. There's been a lot going on in the world of Bravo. We're going to catch up in an episode later this week. Okay?
Yeah.
Got that. Also, Crappy Lake started on Bravo with Sonia and Luann. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Atlanta today. We've got Orange County, which we missed last week, so we'll talk about that. I did a Project Runway catch up by myself, not recap, but I did a catch up by myself. We'll talk about that.
Oh, wow.
You caught up. So much going on in the world. I've got little Bueller's butt hanging out behind my shoulder because we are on the internet today. We are on video. On Patreon, patreon.com/watchwhatcrappens. I look like I've spent my entire vacation doing meth. I've got red splotches all over my face. That is not methamphetamine addiction. That is microneedling. Okay, so that's how I showed up today. But hey, still have a face, so that's good.
Good.
How are you today on your first day back, Banoons?
I feel like I've been hit by a truck. I went out last night. And I was like, we're just gonna ease into the week. We're just gonna ease nice and steadily into the week.
Right.
Got all my work done, and then went to one of those crab and shrimp places. You know, where it's like New Orleans style. It was like
Joe's?
actually like Viet Cajun. It wasn't Joe's, but it was a place called. Actually, it was originally called Oh My Crab.
Yeah, you're gonna have to change that, guys. I'm
Well, they
sorry.
changed
that name
their-
is not approved.
They changed their name to My Crab House, which I think is actually worse. Like, let's go to My Crab House.
But why are
so-
they? Why have all the changes? Would they decide to keep my? It still needs to be my. It has
No,
to be
there's actually
possessive.
there's a reason, because this way they put a menu over the O in their sign, like on the wall when you walk in where it says "Oh My Crab." They put a menu over the O and they paste it on house after crab, so it says "My Crab House." And of course, since "Oh My Crab" had an exclamation point at the end of it, it's like it says "My Crab House." So that's why it's still the structure that it is, because they're able to still use the old signage.
No,
Just like,
no, guys, that's terrible naming. Listen, I appreciate a budget sign, but at some point, just whip out some spray paint. You know what I mean?
you listen, and the same could be applied to Real Housewives of Atlanta. But at this point, what I'm trying to say is that I went to this place. It's despite its crazy name, it's delicious. It's so good. I want everyone to go, because I feel like this place is never going to stay in business, because it's like there was like several empty tables, but so much salt. It's just like you're just ingesting butter and salt and butter and salt. And today I feel like I'm hungover. I didn't even drink anything, and I feel like I've got a hangover, and I'm puffy. And that's just the energy that I'm going to start this week off with. Just
Wow,
puffy
you're coming in with
hangover.
great bloated Monday energy. I love it.
I'm coming
Love
in
that
with
for us.
I'm coming in with that crab house energy. You know, I'm saying My Crab House.
Well, I'm coming in with the energy of being literally so excited to be here. I should not be left alone. I don't know what to do with myself. I mean, I complain that we do work too much, and then what do? I get some time. I don't know what to do, so I just start TikToking. I didn't even know how to TikTok,
Good.
so I've been TikToking all week. That's been really fun. My dog's just licking himself back there. I was basically doing that. I was licking my own crotch all week. Okay, that's what I did. Did a lot of family things, saw a lot of sun. It was great. Really missed talking, because I went into kind of a silent thing where I told my family, leave me alone. I didn't talk to any friends. I saw my family maybe 3 times, which it's like half the week, right? But the other days I shut the fuck up, and it was so nice. But God, I need to talk. I need to talk. I don't care what it's about, anything.
Oh, I've been talking. I've been talking for all this time. Actually, I should mention that I actually did talk in a podcast fashion because I guested on the Board Game Geek podcast this week. So, because people know that I love board games, so I'm on there right now. Anyone out there who is a board gamer, the Board Game Geek podcast, the official podcast of Board Game Geek, which is like the big site for board games, go check that out. But I spent my week, I did a lot of talking because I was I was a social butterfly all week. First, I went to the Hamptons last weekend, which was very fun and lovely and very luxe. And
Sweater gays.
sweat with my sweater gay
favorite sweater
friends.
gays.
Yeah,
They're
we
so
love them.
sweet. How are those guys doing?
They were great. We spent the weekend. We cooked a lot of food. We went to Shelter Island and had a great lunch. We went to Sag Harbor. I did not see Luann in Sag Harbor, but we did see Barbara Bush Jr. walking on the street. So, I was hoping to see Ina Garten also, but again, I just got Barbara Bush.
I feel
But that's
so
fine.
bad for Barbara Bush Jr. because no one's going to give a good reaction to that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. I'm supportive. Like, I love you. I'm excited for you to really see anybody. But Barbara Bush Jr., girl, you can't want to see Ina and then see Barbara Bush Jr. You need to go.
I know, it felt-
you need to
it
just
was-
grow a pair and start knocking on some damn doors.
It was, I'm not going to lie, I was hoping for a little bit more than Barbara Bush Jr. Beggars can't be choosers, and I'm a beggar in the Hamptons. It was fun. I was tempted to try to find the summer house and try to go back to it and crash it. But then I decided, you know what, Ben, have some dignity. So I didn't do that. And then I spent the rest of the week here in LA. I played a million board games. I was like cooking food, eating food, board games. It was such a great week. I felt like I got to do all the self-care things I wanted in the forms of like social interaction, but I worked out like crazy. But then I undermined it all by eating like crazy. But I was really happy because all I wanted to do for this whole week was play board games, get good workouts in, eat lots of food, play video games, and I did all of the above. So you know what? I feel refreshed and I'm like ready to throw myself back into podcasting.
Well, let's do it. Let's throw ourselves back in.
Yeah.
So here we are with Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 9. Okay, so a lot has happened in this world because
Atlanta's like, we love you, this energy you're bringing in after your vacation. Let's destroy it.
listen, I'm starting very positive with Atlanta. It's gonna be great.
We're good. We will do it. Listen, I'm positive too. I just think it's really funny. We're like, oh my god, what? I feel refreshed. So anyway, Real Housewives of Atlanta.
So, first, I guess on that note, worse things have come back to life. Okay, the reason people are like, well, why is it worse for this show? This is unfair. People are criticizing this show harder because this was the best forever. This is the gold standard show, and they're not making any effort. Okay, they know it's broken. They're not fixing it. Fix the fucking show. Okay, that's all I'll say. I'll be positive from now on. But also, bigger things or other things, bigger messes have come back to life. We're seeing it with Orange County. We saw it with Real Housewives of Miami.
New Jersey.
We believe in you. We're sticking with you, and we believe in you.
We believe in you. We believe in you. And I'm going to be a very positive person. I'm going to have a great outlook this entire episode. I'm going to be very up with Atlanta. But that's going to start after.
And then you keep dragging me down.
But that will start after this moment right here, where I'm going to have some comment. I'm going to have some thoughts. Listen, we're allowed to have thoughts. We're allowed to. We're allowed to do this. So, very interestingly, in this episode, as we're going to get to, there's like a scene where like all of the OGs minus Nene get together for a random dinner. And as much, like, oh God, I can't stand Kim Zolciak. I think she's just like trash. But I will say, watching the four of these garbage, like little garbage, like it's just like you're behind a garbage truck and something fell off of it and then got a show. So but I'm watching it. And I'm like, the truth is that the four women that we see in that scene, they just have like a natural chemistry. Like that is the chemistry that comes from people who are friends, who are just like having fun on camera. And I was like, why is this scene so much more alive than everything else happening on this show? Like, I think that just shows how like the cast chemistry on Atlanta right now is really, really in trouble. That is my negative comment of the day.
I don't know that I felt that chemistry. I thought it was like a lot of, woo, look at us, we're together, we see each other all the time. But then it was obvious that they don't, because they're like, oh, so Kim, you're losing your house? You know, things that they should probably know if they really hang out together. Like Lisa Wu energy. Loved having her. Deshaun still, like, Deshaun, have you learned nothing? You are still one of the most made fun of housewives for being a boring ass. And you came back and said nothing. Like, nothing, Deshaun? Nothing?
Well, she's busy working on her next $1 million fundraiser.
So, which was funny because we ended with one of those fundraisers. Like, let's make a huge goal, right? And Deshaun was there. But yeah, this was also interesting because Kim, God, I really do look methed out. Kim and Croy announced that they're divorcing. I didn't believe it. I didn't think it was going to happen. I'm a very judgmental person and I don't believe in anything, especially love. Like, literally, if you're in love, I don't believe in it. Like, I think you're lying. I mean, not you, Ben, not you and Don, but everybody, my parents, maybe. No, they hate each other probably. But for the most part, I'll believe you. I'll take you at your word. Let me just say that. You know,
how about this? If they're on TV and they say they're in love, it's hard to believe.
But Kim and Croy, I believed it. They just seemed so perfect, and they had all those kids. I mean, you know, you don't do that if you don't really love each other, right? And then I know it was hard being poor and stuff, but you know, there are a lot of people with tons of kids who are poor, and like Kim knows how to do it. She started in the show with like a wig made out of like plastic ties for garbage bags. You know what I mean? So she knows how to do it. Something was off about it. I didn't buy it. And they announced this week they're canceling their divorce.
Yeah. So this was like a presidential primary. This is like, she's kind of like the Chris Christie of Scandal. You know, she's like, you know what? I realize it's just that my Scandal doesn't really have legs, and Kyle Richards has just come in with a divorce story. And I have to wave the white flag. Like, mine just did not take off. I mean, she just wants to get back on the show. She can't compete with Kyle and Mauricio, which is, of course, the big news that happened.
Oh, God, they're
away.
So boring. They are so lame. I can't believe anybody's even fucking talking about that. What an attention grab. We'll talk about that in our catch-up episode later this week. Kyle
but either way, Kim Zolciak, she just can't compete. She can't. So she had to drop out of the race. And, you know, conveniently timed for her like return on Atlanta, back on camera, and all of a sudden the divorce things are dropped. Yeah.
So they're trying.
So anyway,
Kyle's trying to, like you said, but she can't compete either with Vanderpump Rules. But nice try competing with Lisa Vanderpump and still losing again, Kyle. Nobody cares. Okay, go away with your stupid fucking Kemosabe hat. I can't with you. Okay, bottom rung, bitch. Sorry, little Kenya line. Yeah. So let's start with where are we starting? Kids playing basketball outside.
Yeah, it's Drew is like playing basketball. Like, it's not outside. It's one of those toy basketball hoops, sort of like if you went to Dave and Buster's. Yeah, it's inside basketball. It's inside, and it's not even real basketball. It's just like toy basketball. And then Candy is looking at it.
That's a damn waste of money, Drew. Okay, yeah. And you're going to need it now because that's another divorce nobody's giving any attention to. But you do not need to have an indoor Chuck E. Cheese basketball thing downstairs at your house. Okay, that's where your fucking sister, who's in need, should be living. Replace the basketball hoops with a bed for Allison. Okay, do I need to do everything for you?
I know. Also, by the way, if you're giving your kid private basketball lessons, don't get the one that's not basketball hoop to scale. You're gonna mess up all the kids' measurements, etc. And like, he's got to learn on a real hoop, not like the Dave and Buster's hoop. Drew, you're undermining the tutor.
Dave and Buster's hoop is harder, right? Because it's smaller. Aren't those real tiny?
It's a terrible
like
hoop.
Carnival hoops?
I hate that game. I literally hate that game. I can never get the ball in the hoop, and I feel like everyone laughs at me every time. Skee ball, I'm down with. But like, give me that stupid like fake little basketball hoop. Like, why do I want to do this? I didn't come to Dave and Buster's to play sports. Otherwise, I would have gone and played sports.
Yeah, I hear you. I can't even throw.
Thank you.
I mean, I know that's a shock to everybody, but I like even flail when I throw. I'm like, my arms move all around. Like I'm flap, like I'm drowning in the water. I'm like, ah.
The ball just lands in the skee ball section. Everyone gets mad.
Yeah.
It's a stupid game.
So then Sheree is pretending that she's afraid of needles, which is hilarious. Any housewife pretending they're afraid of needles is good comedy for me. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sheree, who debuts a new face over the course of this episode, is suddenly like, oh, not needles. I don't want any needles. I mean, the amount of fillers and Botox in her face. And she's like, oh, no needles. No needles for acupuncture. I can't do this. I can't do this.
No, I think at one point she literally shows up with a new nose. I'm not even kidding. Like towards
Yeah.
the end of the
A new
episode, I'm
chin.
like, wait, that's a different nose. When did you guys take a break? Stop taking breaks like at the beginning of your season. What the hell's going on? How did you recover that quickly?
But I mean, this is why Shrey is a good housewife, because she is, as we say, delusional. The fact that she spends really most of this episode talking about how she's really interested in doing holistic things and natural things, for her fibroids, while she is like injecting her face with cement. I'm like, I love that. I love that juxtaposition.
Yeah, I'm seeing if I have a booger. I feel like I have a booger.
No one can see your boogers, even if you had one.
They can, girl. Okay, so then we go to Marlo's, and she's talking to her poor assistant Ty, who has been dragged into the show because Marlo has no friends, rightly so, because she's awful. So she's talking to this friend employee Ty, and they're talking about her date, and I'm still not buying this date or those fake ass flowers that are sitting. Are those even real
No,
flowers? Those are
I don't
some
think
Hobby
so.
Lobby ass flowers. He's probably going to call and ask for those back.
Yeah, they were giving Michaels, I would say. By the way, sorry, I'm going to start saying they were giving. I can't help it because there's someone on Love Island UK who's always like, it's giving romance, it's giving love. And like, unfortunately, I'm a chameleon. And so I know that it's giving is not new, but like, I've been watching Love Island so much that now all of a sudden I just am starting to say it without even realizing. So if you're like, wow, Ben's trying out some new slang, it's like, I'm sorry, everyone. I know. I know. It's giving
that's
new,
probably
new
about as
vernacular.
realistic as any love storyline that Marlo's going to have. Okay. So she got a text from this guy that says, good morning, beautiful. You're going to have a great day. Don't trust him. He's trying to rob you. I'm going to say that right now. Don't trust any man who texts you without even banging. I don't believe this. I don't believe this person. I think he wants on TV and he wants some attention for his strip mall restaurant.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. He wants that. So Scott Lee, his name is Scott Lee.
That's right.
And she's like, oh, good morning. Hope you had a wonderful day as well. Thanks for making last night perfect. And then he wrote back, you're welcome. Don't be a stranger. So basically they said hi to each other, and this is the basis of the scene. And so Marlo is like, she's like, well, I can't believe I want to date with someone who's good looking and I kind of like, and like, sometimes I get afraid that like when you let someone in, they find your weaknesses and they just like, destroy you from the inside out and just ruin your entire life and dox you and just like make you like wish you had never even moved to this state to begin with, like pretty standard things. I'm like, damn, Marlo, like, it's okay to say hi to someone in the morning on a text.
But Marlo, of all people, saying sometimes you let someone in and they know your weaknesses and they use that to hurt you. Can we please have some clips of Marlo saying, even your mom didn't want you, Kenya?
Well, that's why she's afraid, because she knows she does it. So she assumes everyone else does it too.
Yeah, calling Drew fat and ugly. Please insert some clips here. So then Ty is like, how did it feel getting a good morning text? You should return the favor. You should say in the afternoon, I hope your day is going well. It's like, what, is this basic manners for...
Yeah.
At 5 p.m., you should say, thank you. Hope you had a great day. Come again now, you hear? Are you training for the fucking grocery store? Shoot scenes with somebody else, Ty. You're better than this.
It's also a terrible idea. I am not in favor of like doing games with texts. Like I kind of feel like if you go on a date with someone and you like them and they like you and you text, like each person will be so happy to hear from them that like you don't care about any of that bullshit. But if you are going to play the game, if you decide you are going to play the game, she should not be the one to text, okay, in the afternoon, like, and say like, hey, I hope your afternoon's going well. He should be the one to text because he has to woo her and she's more famous, so he has to work harder. So
he's the one who needs the publicity for a strip mall restaurant. So he should be the one to text.
Yeah,
it's not even a gender thing. It's just he needs the attention the most. So
yeah,
he should be the one to do it.
He does not have cameras. So
but he does have a modicum of respect. I mean, she hasn't received a dick yet, so that's something.
That's true. That's true. So now we go over to Sonia doing the things that we love most, which is Momination. She's doing Momination stuff. She wants to raise $50,000 because she met a woman who helps. She has like a foundation that sends unhoused children to get a private education. in Atlanta. And she's like, well, this lady is helping out the kids. Who's going to take care of the mommies? Hashtag Mommy Nation to the rescue.
Yeah, so she's setting up this big thing for that. And guys, there's trouble. Destiny, the auctioneer, which that's a good name for an auctioneer. I think that that's a really. Normally, I have a problem with the name Destiny because I feel like it's a name that is promising something. It's like too much for that kid to deliver. It's like Destiny. And then they just grow up to be a stripper or something. But
Yeah, especially if they have two E's, if it's Destiny with two E's.
yeah, but this one, I like it for an auctioneer. I like it for something like that. Like, it's a good luck name for an auctioneer.
Well, it's kind of saying, like, it doesn't matter how much you bid. This has already been chosen for you, right? Like,
yeah. You're destined to give us $50,000. So they're saying, well, we need her assistance. Like, we need a really big personality. What about Kenya Moore? I'm like, oh, really? The lady that she's been shit talking this entire season? Yeah, sure. Why not fake it, Sonia? Sonia, call Kenya and kiss her ass after you've been trash talking her all season. That'll be fun.
yeah. So Sonia decides that, yes, she's going to have Kenya be her last minute backup assistant. So meanwhile, Kenya is doing a photo shoot for Kenya Moore Hair Care, and she's like art directing and everything. And Moneta is there, in case you couldn't tell, in case you've like felt that extra like sense of presence and joy. If you're wondering where that came from, it's Moneta. She was there. And
just watching
and
Kenya pretend to be the director. Kenya just does not have any. Do you remember all those years that she was trying to convince everybody that she was a famous actor? And then she even got mad at Kim Fields for not recognizing her as a peer, recognizing her as a peer. It's like, Kenya, you're not in anything, okay? You're barely on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's doing that again today, but it's with directing. And she's like, Kenya Moore Hair Care. Chin down, hair longer. I need longer hair. Beat the drum, beat the drum. Twist it, braid it. Why is there a bald person here? Get the bald person out. All right, we're all buying it, Steven Spielberg.
I know, seriously. Looking forward to the Cleo win that you get. So Kenya's she's saying how she's really upset that she didn't get to perform at the Magic City Classic football game. So she's going to use all the choreo that Moneta made in this commercial. So then inevitably, she trots out Brooklyn, and they have like a very cute scene together because Brooklyn's adorable. But sometimes I get this feeling, what?
You just don't like prop comedy. You're like,
I don't like prop comedy.
That is some prop work. And
I kind of feel like Kenya trots out Brooklyn when she wants to like a certain image of herself as being warm and approachable and not just a villain, but just she's a mom trying to make it happen. So Brooklyn's there twirling around, and Moneta is texting on the side. She's texting with Roy, ROI. By the way, appropriately enough, ROI, return on investment, Roy. So he's coming in because he's going to surprise everyone conveniently with some stuff from Call Me Kale. Wow, everyone's really taking advantage of these people.
Oh, this is so embarrassing that Roy shows up with food from his own restaurant to promote it and doesn't even pretend that he likes Kenya. I mean,
doesn't.
Listen,
no.
Can't spell charisma without Roy. Wait, you can. You actually can. I can see why. Because what a dud this fucking guy is. My God. This is like my grandfather when we would walk in. He had this like little room he would hole up in and watch TV and close the door, like his den. And whenever we would go in there, he would like have a big bowl of walnuts, just eating them like this with his lips out. And when we were bothering him, he would just look at us like, and move the walnut around in his mouth and just stare at us like, you're a piece of shit. And I'm sure it was very loving in his way, but that's the vibe that Roy is giving me. I'm like, I should like him. He did bring food, but it's kale.
It's like,
and he's not
self-serving. Yeah. He seems to not really enjoy her. He's basically emotionally distant and also physically distant, which is, I guess, Kenya's type. Also, Call Me Kale. I don't know if I love that pun. Is that a pun on Call Me Crazy?
No.
What is it?
Call me. I don't think it's a pun.
Call me? I'm gonna say this. I think Oh My Crab is better than Call Me Kale.
I think it is too.
I think Oh My Crab wins the pun war.
Yeah, Call Me Crab. Maybe we can get some crab on some kale.
Call me Kaleby, like Call Me Maybe. Like it really,
No,
it's
I
like
don't think it's. I don't think it's like a borderline like pedo thing for a restaurant. Do you?
no, call me maybe. It's Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh, I thought you were
You
calling
think
call me by your name.
Call me by your
name.
kale.
There you go. Where you
Call
go
me
have
by your
kale
kale.
salads with like twinks
With someone who wants to
whatever.
cannibalize you.
Yeah. Wow, this is really going off the rails. Okay, so let's go back to this user, fucking Roy. Okay, and also Kenya's. We all know Kenya is a faker. Kenya's had fake boyfriends every single year on the show until Mark, who I honestly believe was a fake boyfriend just gone wrong, and she is
I
still
think
not
so.
divorced or even making any effort to divorce this fucking guy. So I have no time for this Roy.
Mark was the unmarked taxi that we drove from O'Hare Airport to that awful hotel in Chicago recently. It was like Kenya had been waiting for her Uber. She couldn't find her Uber, and there was a car, and the car seemed to be taking her where she needed to go. And she got in, and it turned out that car smelled terrible and was a lot of money. You know,
Yeah.
that's what Mark is.
Mark, my God. Didn't she even give him her Tesla? I mean, that guy still
That was
coming
a
at
piece
her.
of shit. I'm sorry. So then, so Kenya's like, ha 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 ha, you made it. Call me Kale, Roy. Ha 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 ha. He's
wrote,
like,
it's Roy, his chin implant, LOL. Go ahead.
I didn't even notice. I was just more distracted by his flagrant dislike of this entire situation. And he's like, gross.
Roy is
I'm like,
difficult to pin down because he's the owner of a health food restaurant with very busy locations. So for him to take time out of his busy schedule to bring me food from Call Me Kale, it's like, how desperate are you? For fuck's sake, God!
Yeah.
You could go on Craigslist and get people to pretend pretend they're your boyfriend, and do a better job than this. This guy's making no effort. Nobody go support his goddamn kale restaurant. This guy sucks.
yeah, I'm sorry. He does not get a trophy for quote unquote taking time out of his busy schedule to promote his brand on a national platform. No, that does not get brownie points.
You know what does get brownie points? Filters
Brownies.
on Instagram. Oh, brownies definitely.
Brownies do.
Well, yeah. Filters on Instagram, because when they've shown Roy before, I was like, oh my God, he's so cute. And they showed him now, it's like, ew. But I think it's his personality too, and just the fact that he's out there hawking kale to people. Like,
I'm not
your first kale's free. The rest you'll be so addicted. Like, it's not rock, okay? It's kale. Nobody wants this. Get it out of here.
Well, call me Kale, but I think I think that he's using the same filters as Paulie's been using on New Jersey. So
Yes. Paul definitely makes use of those filters as well. I used one of them on the Tiki Talkie this week, and I look fucking amazing. I can see how addictive they are. I never want to be seen again. I'm trying to figure out how to use a filter on this so we can be on YouTube and I can still look like that, because that is fucking amazing. I don't even want to be a real person anymore.
I've only used one proper filter on TikTok, and as some of you may have seen, it turned me into a shoe. So Kenya says,
Have you done the one that turns you into a horse face? Talk about
no,
karma.
but I will do that after this.
There's some characters we used to call horseface back in the beginning days of this podcast, which was very rude and cancelable. You had to bring it up again. But yeah, I was on it the other day. I think Snapchat or one of them, and it says open your mouth, and I opened my mouth and it morphed my face into a horse face. And I was like, well, that is fucking internet karma right there. I should have been stuck like that.
You get sea biscuited. So Kenya still has her normal
biscuited.
face. She's not.
Sorry, couldn't pass up the pen.
Call me Kale. So
Call me Kale Biscuit.
call me horse. Call me. Do they have a kale filter where you open your mouth and your head turns into a to-go bag from Call Me Kale? It's a really, it's a non-trend. It's under the tab non-trending filters. Non-trend. Okay, so Kenya, yeah, so she's there and she's talking about, she's like, Kenya, more hair care. It's this like famous chant. Like anywhere I go, people start doing this chant. And Manyetta's like, because they're explaining this to Roy, who, by the way, if you were a proper boyfriend, should know all this already. He's like, Kenya, more hair care? What is that again? And Manyetta's like, oh, well, she got it from HBCU bands, you know? Like, it's a huge thing. Like, it goes back in history. You don't know what HBCU is, do you? You don't know,
bank.
Roy, do you?
It is bank. Okay. I do Wells Fargo chats.
Head bitch in control of underwear, right?
He's like, okay, gotta run. Looks amazing. He just looks fucking miserable, as a Kale Hawker would. So he leaves, and Kenya's like, that was nice. He brought goodies. And Moneta's like, healthy goodies. Oh, shut up, the both of you. Okay, he did
I know.
nothing for you.
And we all know those are underdressed salads. You know they both need another little container of dressing, and he did not include them.
Yeah, or no forks. Or they're one of those places, it's just like they give you like a popsicle stick that has like 3 slits shaved into it, and they call it a fork. Yeah. You're like, what? This is not a fork. And also, you killed a tree instead of like a paper bush. Wouldn't it have been easier to just kill the fucking paper?
And the fork handle has a hole in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, to save. Which I'm like, those are actually good things, but whatever. So I'm just like mad that he did it and that he thinks he's great, but meanwhile he's skimping on the dressing.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, Kenya just says that basically she's gonna. Sonia FaceTimes and she's like, Kenya Moore, can you help me be an auctioneer? And Kenya's like, of course, Sonia. Like, I would be honored, of course. Which means, you know, that Kenya's gonna fuck it up for her.
And she's like, you know, I feel like Sonia's a good person. However, this is the second event Sonia's booked me for without going through my agent. Which is true, but it's like also an auctioneer event. Just go. Just shut up and go.
It's like
so
she's not booking you for like Jurassic Park 5. Yeah. So
yeah, calm down, Laura Dern. Okay.
I know, like it's like literally an auction at like in like a ballroom at our hotel. Like seriously, Laura Dern, take a seat.
Calm down, Jeff Goldblum. So then we go to Drew with her mom, and they're talking about JoJo's principal calling, and Drew cried because they acknowledged JoJo for being a model student. I was like, "Are you sure?" Oh. I don't know. I don't know that principals make those calls. What did JoJo do?
Well, Drew could have just made that call. Drew could have just been doing that. Like, I mean, like the principal's like, yeah, I mean, JoJo's fine, but JoJo's great. I like JoJo. I'm happy that this happened. So Jeanette is there. That's Drew's mom.
I would freak out though if the principal called. Hi, is the principal? I'm calling about JoJo. He is amazing. I don't believe it. How big is the school? Are there like 10 people there? Can you fucking believe?
The principal's like, now, if you don't mind, I'd like to come on camera and promote my food business, since apparently that's happening this episode.
Call me spaghetti. Like, wait a minute.
That's like even worse of a pun.
Is that a pun?
Is that a pun? So Jeanette's very happy. She's saying how like, oh, my kids are smart. They all got it from me. And Drew's like, you and Daddy. And then it like trickled down to me. I mean, I produced my own video. It was amazing to be able to do that. I'm like, okay, so we'll just transition away from your son's amazing accomplishments to the fact that you want to just talk about your video that you produced. As in, you sat there and then the producers of this show were like, you should shoot a video for the show. She's like, okay. And they sent you a director. Yeah.
Yeah, Drew just lies. You know, she's like, oh, the principal called and I just produced my own music video. Do you not remember a person named Rage? Okay. That's why he's sitting at home like, once again, no credit for me. No fucking credit for Rage.
Rage Against the Machine once again. Also, by the way, way to compete with your son. It's like, oh, did you hear the principal called? JoJo has been doing amazing things. That's so funny because I produced my own music video. So anyway, I guess I'm just a little bit more accomplished.
Model Mom.
Just waiting on a call from his principal to thank me for making a music video about roller skating when I don't even know how to do it. Okay.
So then we talked to Allison, who you should not be bringing Allison on TV. I said that you should give her a room. I did not say you should necessarily put her on TV. Allison is extremely fragile. Okay. Anybody who has ever been around a fragile person or been a fragile person knows this look. Allison is she's white knuckling it through this.
You can see.
Please leave her alone. Don't drag her onto TV to deal with. She does not need to deal with this. And then you've got Allison sitting there about to lose it. And then you've got Drew like, well, guess what? The principal called about JoJo, and I just did a music video. So could you fold up your sleeping bag underneath the basketball machine? That would be great. Ralph is going to kick you out again if you don't.
So then Allison, of course, is like, this would probably be a good time to quietly remind Drew about all the things I did for her. And while she's like very proud of herself for doing one music video, how I did everything else for her, and she can see just a fraction of all the hard work I did. So she's like, "Oh, just remember, Drew, take breaks, because I don't think I ever had a vacation." So know what I'm saying? And Drew is like, "Well, this is your vacation now, being in this suburban house with a basketball machine on top of your bunk bed." So enjoy. And by bunk bed, I mean just tile floor that you sleep on. And Lauren's like, "Well, I guess I don't think you really understood what I was implying, so let me just say it more clearly. All those years that I was working for you, did you ever see me rest once, ever? Do you want to say thank you, maybe?"
She's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what people do when they're off the clock. Like, what do you want? Also, this season is relying really heavily on using our sisters inappropriately to do things for us, because that's a double storyline, because we've also got it with Sonia. Yeah. Beleaguered sisters is the theme of the season.
Sisters are doing it for someone else. Yeah.
Sisters are doing literally nothing for themselves ever.
I know, apparently. Annie Lennox is just going to walk on and be angry. She's like,
no, she's going to walk on and Drew's going to be like, could you tie my roller skates for me? Thanks. So she's telling us how amazing her sister is, and she goes over her resume. She says, well, first of all, her hugest thing is managing Drew's career since she was 8. And she's also been,
of course,
she's also, which Drew has had a career. She's no Heather Dubrow. I mean, she really has had a career. It's still funny though. She still is acting like my career since I was 8 years old. It's like, okay, she had some free time. You know what I mean? She had some time for a nap in there. Is all I'm saying. Yeah. So but, she's been a writer on Amen, which loved that show.
Love that. It could have just ended there.
Every episode of that.
Me too. It's one of my favorite theme songs. One of my favorite TV theme songs of all time. I think it's actually one of the most underrated TV theme songs. If you've never heard the theme song, go to YouTube and listen to it, and you will like be shocked that this song, that we're able to create this much song in 1 minute. It's like truly one of the best things ever. Shine on me. Oh, yeah. Shine on me. Shine on.
Shine on me. That's the only. I'm just in the chorus.
I was in the chorus too. I didn't memorize all the lines.
You were a good piano guy. Na 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 na. Shine on me. So she worked on that, which already beats your career. Okay, I'm going to say that. And then she worked on Martin, Rock. She worked at the William Morris Agency in the literary department. Call us. She's worked for Wesley Snipes. She worked for Johnny Carson Productions. I mean, she's done actually a lot of things. So
literally everything that she's done is like significantly more impressive than Drew Sidor's career, except maybe Wesley Snipes' production company. I don't know what that company ever did, and he got in trouble with the taxes. So hopefully she wasn't doing the books.
Yeah, hopefully she wasn't in charge of finances over there. But otherwise, pretty good. So they're talking about, oh my God, it's like so hard to be Drew and not have a manager. Like, what is Drew doing right now by herself? Sorry, I'm doing like a Drew Barrymore face. She's like, oh my God, you guys, it's like so hard.
That's like crazy. That's like one of the craziest things, that you don't have a manager. Like, how can you even not have a manager? Like, but it's like amazing though. Like, it's amazing what you're able to do without like even a manager. Like, it's actually kind of like it's just like so impressive right now. Thank you so much for being on my show.
So Allison talks about all the trauma she's been through and what basically going through PTSD from traumatic relationships and all that. Like, it's terrible. She's been through a lot. And then she had a mental break in COVID, and she was admitted to a mental facility. And she's like, Drew, I just we really never got a chance to be sisters, because I was always working. I was always working for you, and I just want to be sisters. And Drew's like, that sounds so good, and it would sound even better with a latte in my hand. Could you please make that happen?
One thing that sisters do for each other is they arrange each other's schedules. So do you think you can find out when I can meet with Rage? Thanks.
Is there anything more sisterly than having access to my iCal? Okay, could you organize that? That'd be great.
So now Sheree shows up at a restaurant where literally every single person in the restaurant has requested their faces be blurred out, which is hilarious. It's like literally she's like in a sea of pixelation. And first, Lisa Wu enters, which is exciting. Lisa Wu made a comeback last season, so Lisa Wu is here, not being quite as crazy.
Lisa Wu made quite a comeback. She really went nuts when she first came on. What was she even screaming about? I don't know, but it was fucking funny.
It was hilarious.
Where it was all the ladies. That was so good. First, I have to just point out the waiter because, you know, I love a Real Housewives waiter. This fucking guy. So Sheree's like, I'll have the lychee bomb. And he's like, it's a lychee back. Not a lychee bomb.
I know.
Okay, it's not a drink for terrorists. It is a drink for classy people. So I'll bring that to you. Hold on. I'm going to stand right under a central light right next to your table with my arms crossed and stare at you. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to move. Don't turn the light off. I'll still not move.
There's a backstory with that lychee back. You know there is. You know that it was like for like 2 weeks, this waiter had been working on the lychee back recipe, and he's like, I'm going to pitch it to Simon. I'm going to pitch it. I'm going to say, like, I know I'm just a waiter, but I have a cocktail, and I think this should be on our cocktail program. And he probably, like, bothered all of his girlfriends on the phone for hours. Like, I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm just, like, going to walk up, and I'm going to say, Simon, I feel like you said this, we're a family when we work here. And as a family member, I have a drink I would like on the cocktail menu. And then he like worked himself up and he got it onto the menu.
And Simon was like, no, I need better branding. You can't just call it a lychee martini. That's lame. He's like, okay, well, we'll call it a lychee back. No, lychee back just doesn't work, dude. Listen, I want to support you, but I can't do it. What about lychee bomb? No, it's not lychee bomb. It's lychee back. I say lychee bomb. It's lychee back. And they finally gave him his
I am
way.
an artist.
And then Sheree comes right in and it's like, can I have a lychee bomb? And Simon's in the back like, I told you.
And the waiter's like, you don't even understand. You know, and someone actually designed this drink and actually named this drink, and you're just going to come in here and call it a lychee bomb when it's lychee back? Get out. Get out right now, you slut.
Well, we just really took that waiter
really
to a dark place.
We really created a good backstory for this scene.
He entered as a like sweet, creative person and just ended up as a total fucking nightmare.
Well, he has a lot of hopes pinned on that lychee back. He's like,
so
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to indulge this any further. You go.
It's done. So
done.
Deshawn comes in and she's like, "Hey, girls," and that was, I think, one of her 3 lines. I don't think they even wanted to pay Deshawn. They're like, "Listen, you're under 5 today. Do not say more than 5 things." Okay.
They're like, listen, Deshawn, we really need you to be in this scene so we can passive aggressively make Nene feel bad. Thanks. Okay. We're getting all the OGs except Nene back. Okay.
When I say that the waiter literally stood right next to this table in a spotlight, I'm not lying. He stood there the whole time. Also, didn't you think it was interesting? I saw this on Twitter, and I'm so sorry I didn't write down the Twitter name. It wasn't at me anyway. I just read it. But it was a Twitter comment or a Twitter tweet. Just a tweet saying, they thought it was really shady that there was an empty chair there because Nene was the only one that wasn't there.
And I didn't see that.
That is interesting. I didn't notice that.
It's not realize the empty seat. Wow.
Yeah.
So, well, then in comes Kim Zolciak, and she, of course, enters in like full audition mode. Fully
hey, this is bullshit.
Hey.
I'm a bitch. That's right.
I'm a bad bitch. Hey, just forget about that reunion where I said, you know how hard it is to be a white woman, be on a panel with a bunch of black women when they're coming at you? Just forget about that. I'm Kim Zolciak. I'm ready. I'm ready to be back.
Come on, you know racism wasn't even a thing before fucking Twitter. I mean,
I don't see color. I don't see color. You know what I see? I see Big Daddy Money because I'm going back to him. Oh, wait, guess what? I'm going back to Croix. Never mind.
Literally will not stop grabbing and touching her hair. And can't close her mouth anymore. Her eyes are just in one. I mean, she's just fucking crazy. She's like a crazy moth. It's the only way I could describe.
Crazy
just like
moth.
Kind of beating up against a window, just not really.
All
focused.
moths are crazy. All moths are crazy.
Moths are crazy. Yeah.
All moths are crazy. I'm sorry.
And they take forever to get ready, just like Kim. They take forever to get ready. They finally come out, and they're just still beating their head up against the glass.
They just go. You know what? Moths are like. So ridiculous. You know the funniest thing is like when you have your lights on and a moth gets up on your window and it just like sits there like like it's one thing. There's certain moths that go flittering around a light lamp, because they're in pursuit of something. They're excited. They're aroused. But the one that just is like, take me. It just has its wings all the way out on the window. Like, come on, get in this moth. Come on, light.
I have to show you this video I took today. Hold on. Can you see this? Let me pull that.
I'm seeing. Yes.
Hold on, just keep looking at it.
Yeah, there's a moth.
Look at this moth. I was taking
There's not even a
video.
light. Why is it acting like that? There's not even a light source.
There's not even a light. This is at 5:45 in the morning. Okay, this is what I do at 5:45. I don't even know why I was awake.
I can't believe
I
you were
saw
awake
this
at
moth and I was
5:45.
like, I'm gonna do a TikTok judging all the animals by my house because they're like literally some of the dumbest animals I've seen. What is this moth doing? There's no light on inside. It's actually lighter outside than it is on the inside, and he's banging up against the window. I sat there and filmed him for two solid minutes. This fucking idiot.
He's probably like, "Can you help me? My family is in a car and trapped. Please help me." And you're like, "What are you doing here?"
He's literally an idiot. Okay, I'm gonna make a whole video judging all of my animals at my house because they're all stupid. And also, look at the kid next door. He keeps throwing his dog balls, and then they land on my little patio thing, and then he comes over to get them, but he always leaves that one there. I need to ask
The moth?
Look at that moth. Isn't that a good shot? Oh my god.
The moth is like, "Sir, can you help me? A ball fell on my wife."
I'm like, get out of here, stupid. A ball fell on.
She was drunk. She just had a lychee back.
Oh my god. Okay, so Deshaun comes, Kim comes, touching her hair. Lisa's there, and she's like, I don't know if I need to hug you or chop you in the throat, Kim. And then
Take
we
option
see,
B.
yeah, we see clips of like why that's funny. A ball fell on my wife.
Please help Susan. So then Kim is So Kim is like, "Well, let me tell you something. My mom, the only thing good about that bitch are her jeans." And I'm like,
Your mother, who you wouldn't speak to. Okay, Kim cut her own mother out of her life because her mom wanted to pee at her wedding inside and not in a porta potty. And Kim literally cut her off. For the
"What part of your mom's jeans involves you reshaping your face?" What? I don't think having your face is a representative of genetics. So Sheree's like, "I cannot take you." So Kim goes, "Bitch, you know I'll just speak my mind. I might not be right, but I might not be my bitch." She's like really being on for the camera right now. She's like not letting Lisa Wu or Deshaun like also have a moment.
Well, yeah, she's determined. And Sheree's telling us how much she loves the girls, and they have so much respect for each other, and they have drinks occasionally, and they'll check in on each other. And I don't believe you, frankly. So Sheree's like, Kim, your tits look smaller. And she's like, they look smaller because I couldn't fucking breathe. Okay, that's why. So cheers to being fucking with my water, bitch. All right? Fucking cheers to fucking water with fucking tits. That's what I'm going to say right now because I couldn't fucking breathe these tits. All right?
She gambled her tits away at a casino. We all know that.
Kim
she's like,
literally
what can I
squeezed her
give?
implants into a nickel machine. Okay?
She put them in the penny slots. So then at that casino that we went to in like Omaha, not even Omaha, it's like in rural Nebraska. Remember that?
Yes.
And the casino in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So Kim's like, "Cheers to being real," which again, let's just exhibit A, the face. Yeah. "Cheers to being real. Cheers my fucking water, bitch. Yeah."
So they're hugging and they're talking about Lisa Wu's like, even when I hated you, I still loved you, Kim. I don't hate you anymore. And she's like, I know. Who could hate me? Who could hate this? And they're hugging, and Sheree's like, well, with the other girls, we're going on vacation. And Kim's like, I ain't going on fucking vacation. Where's my fucking vacation? Where's that? What are we going to fucking go on vacation? Where the fuck is that going to be?
And Sheree's like, "Well, you used to never go on girl trip with us, and you're going. Me and the girls are going to Portugal." I was like, is this really happening? Are we inviting the OGs to the Portugal trip?
No, she never invites them. That's why I thought it was really funny. She's like, "Welcome, people who aren't on the show that I got rehired on. So I'm going to be going onto a girls trip that none of you are invited on." I mean, she didn't invite them, right?
That's true, because they're not in the previews for the girls trip. So, but it seemed like she was inviting them. So then we see a flashback of Sheree inviting Kenya to go on this trip on Portugal. She calls up Kenya and is like, "We're going to go to Portugal." And Kenya goes, "Oh, I've never been to Spain before," which is they are very
Close.
helpful in showing how she's wrong. They show a
But
diagram.
it's very close.
Was Kenya was the season that Kenya not on? Was that the season that they went to Barcelona? Was that Kenya's off season?
Oh my gosh, I don't even remember that.
They flew together. That was the season where Marlo got into a fight with Portia over the size of her doormat.
Over the doormat size, yeah. So Sheree's like, well, the reason we're taking a trip is because I have fibroids. So we're going to go through some natural healing. It would honestly be easier to just go get surgery on your fibroids. Like, are you serious? You're going to go to Portugal to try and natural heal your fibroids away? Go to the doctor, Sheree. Fuck.
Do you go to a sound bath? You're going all the way to Portugal for some natural healing and sound bath? Can't you go to like next door or something? Like, isn't there a sound bath in Atlanta somewhere?
Fibroids, whose fucking purse is this? That's what I want to know. Whose fucking purse is this? The most fucking amazing purse I've ever fucking seen, bitch. What? This purse is a bitch. Bitch, I want on my fucking arm, all right?
Straight. That's just Kim. Kim's like, I need more content. I need more content for my audition reel. So Sheree's
talking about having a possibly very dangerous thing inside them happening health-wise. And she's like, whose fucking purse is that?
So Sheree's like, if me, Lisa, Deshawn, and Kim can make it through all this BS from before, I definitely feel like me and my current friends can too. I'm like, no, you can't push through the bullshit because you're out of the spotlight for so long. You have no choice but to push through it.
Yeah.
So Sheree's she's making it her mission to bring everyone back together, everyone but Nene, because with my fibroids, you don't need stress. Like, okay, what commercial are you auditioning for? She's starting to sound like Sally Field.
I know, she's coming for Jamie Lee Curtis's Activia job. So it's Activia, right? Is that her thing?
Jamie Lee Curtis is Activia, and Sally Field is Boniva, I believe.
Boniva, LOL. So
that's the OTC brand is Boniva, LOL.
Boniva, LOL. Boniva, LOL, Kale. Like, wait a minute.
Call me
is that
Boniva.
a pun?
Oh, my Boniva. So Sheree's saying who's coming to Portugal, and she mentions Marlo, and Kim's like, oh my God, Marlo. I love Marlo. We could be friends. I could be friend of if you need me to be there. I can do that for you.
Right,
and then
but she still hates Kenya. She's like, Kenya's still alive? That bitch is still alive? Oh my God, you just do not touch my kids, bro. You do not touch my kids. Then maybe your kids should stop going into people's houses and taking secret videos in the bathroom of bugs or whatever the fuck is going on. You stupid Kim. So she's like, you saw I got bruises from you holding me back from that bitch, Sheree, okay? Because you know what I think of y'all, I think of y'all all the time because, like, you know what? Sheree introduced me to that dance, when that celebrity dance thing when I met Croy, and Croy said, I saw you from afar, and he was like, I knew. That was when I knew. I was like, he didn't see you from afar. He passed by you and you said, wait, what is that, a basketball or an ass? Get over here, sailor. Sit down on this. Get over here. Yeah, I'm going to stick my fingers in that. That's a real hot fucking pie right there.
So then one of the women asked Kim how things are going with Croy. She says, well, we're still married. It's 11 years. We're doing great. Whatever I did, text the right person. I touched the right person. That's what I did. And Lisa's like, 11 years, that's a good number. And you know that Kim is sitting there at home being like, please blow up like Scandival. Please, please. This is just like Raquel, how we're supposed to be rooting for Raquel, but she was actually the mistress. Come on, make me a star again.
And Lisa's like, well, I did see in the media that you're losing your house. I hate to hear that. She's like, I mean, come on. It's not really the media. It's like a blog on Instagram. I mean, it's not like it's TMZ. It's not like on People Magazine, okay? Like, you think I'm going to foreclose on my house with like $200,000 left on it? Like, you really think I'm going to do that? Come on, bitches.
They're like, yes. So Lisa is still a real estate broker. And then her son is killing it. Lisa says that her son is killing it, doing whatever he's doing. And Sheree's like, boys are the best. And Kim goes, well, I had no idea what having a son was like until I had KJ. I'm like, well, that would make sense because you never had a son and then you had a son. So thanks for the insight.
It's crazy, isn't it? They require a lot more time to get boob jobs. Longer waiting period for sure. Sheree's like, well, everyone seems fine. Oh, so she goes, well, everyone seemed fine while we were on the show, but like as soon as Lisa got off the show, she got a divorce. And then as soon as Deshaun got off the show, she got a divorce. And Deshaun's like, blink, blink. Like, Deshaun, anything to say about your divorce? And she's like, well, I was caught off guard, of course.
Well, which is a nice pun because her ex played the position of guard on the Cavaliers. So she was literally off guard. She's like, I had a guard and now he's off.
You were kicked off the guard.
So yeah, Deshaun was caught off guard. By the way, Deshaun looks absolutely amazing. I have to give props to Deshaun. She looks wonderful. Yeah. But Deshaun is dating, guys. She is dating. And Kim's like, is it fun out there? What's it like to date? I don't know what it's like anymore. She's like, it is what you make it. I'm like, okay, Deshaun, great to hear this update. It's been 12 years, and this is the update. Thank you.
Yeah, you can. That's it. That's it for Deshaun. Just bring a curtain down on her head. Okay, put the waiter in. He's still fucking standing there. Okay, so then Sheree's like, well, I have a boo, and it's going really good with him. And he gets a bad rap, but he's a really good guy. And Kim's like, well, would you get married again, Sheree? Would you get married again? Because, listen, I was at Portia's wedding, and Candy came up and gave me a hug, and I was like, wow, girl, Taurus to Taurus. Taurus to Taurus, right there. Horn to horn, girl. Horn to horn. Horn to horn. What is this?
She meant literally like Ford Taurus.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She was literally like, could I sell you my Ford Taurus? The horn works.
Taurus is Taurus. Taurus to Taurus. You started in a Taurus, and you're going to end in a Taurus.
Yeah, I think so.
Sheree is like, oh, so you guys have squashed everything? She's like, I mean, I hugged the bitch. Doesn't mean I squashed it. I didn't squash it. And they ask, what could the beef be anyway? Oh my God.
Kim's like,
this is why you can't bring back all the OGs. Like, really, we're going to still fight about Tardy for the party? I can't.
Well, Kim's like, well, I just sang a fucking song that went really big and I enjoyed it. So I don't see what the problem was. I'm like, you didn't see what the problem was? Is that you made thousands of dollars off of it and like barely even thanked Candy for it. You ungrateful.
Yeah, someone
dingbat.
Literally produced a song for you and auto-tuned you and made you sound like a Grammy-winning fucking artist did that for you, and then you never paid them anything.
So then Sheree goes, let's do a toast to authenticity as represented by the fifth face I've had in this scene. Cheers. OGs for life.
He was like, yeah, toast the bitches and sons and me not losing my house. And so then we go to the next day. Sonia is up, and she's wearing her pop, 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 pop shirt.
Yep.
And Candy's with her assistant talking about how busy she is, and Sonia's over at her house talking about how busy she is, and it's like a Candy Sonia busy off. Sonia's like, I'm busy, I have Mommy Nation, I have this thing, I'm on this website, and I have this thing to do. And Candy's like, I am so busy, I have this thing to do. I'm going to win a Tony maybe, and I'm also busy with this thing. All I hear is just errands. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'll call my sister and be like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh my God, so much. I went to the store, then I went to the laundromat to pick up like the laundry that I had like ironed. And then after that, I like had to go pick up the kids from it's just like a list of errands, and it makes me tired. Okay.
But like, Sonia is like a list of errands. She's like, well, I had to go to the FedEx store and make copies, and then I had to go to the grocery store and get some macaroni, and then I had to do this. And then Candy's like, I had a concert in Nashville last night, and I've got a concert tonight in Sydney, Australia. So I thought I'd fly in for this. It's like Candy's is like legitimately like, what are you doing here? You shouldn't be here.
Yeah, Candy had 2 concerts back to back. Drove in this morning to be here for this Mommy Nation thing. So yeah, you're right. But it's like errands for Candy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because for Candy, it's just like just doing concerts because I just wanted something else to do. Just got bored with producing things on Broadway and films and.
Sorry, I just got back from my Tony nominee luncheon, and now I have to. I gotta do a concert tonight, and then hold on, I'm gonna go to the bank real quickly to pick up royalties for Scrubs, and also the Ed Sheeran song that stole from Scrubs. Excuse me. What did you do
her
today?
Version of what just normal errands are. So
but clearly, the producers yelled at her and were like, "You have to come. You've skipped too many events."
So then we go over to Drew, who's doing homework with her kids, which is just, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, everything out of Drew's mouth is a damn lie. I don't believe she's helping with anybody with homework. No. And if the principal called for any reason, it was probably like, this homework was completely fucked up. The math equation was 4 times L equals X times pi, and the answer is key lime. Could you explain that to me?
I'm sorry. This was the question was 16 divided by 4, and your answer was a plot synopsis of Step Up. I don't get it.
Could you please stop helping your children with homework? That would be great.
So Sonia's now in glam for her thing, and her sister is doing the glam for her, and her sister is pissed, and they're speaking in like patois, which is amazing because it's so fast. Because I feel like Sonia already talks fast, and now they're in patois. It's just like it's the fastest thing of all time. And Sonia, like the sister, what's her face? I forgot. Sherry. She's like annoyed. She's like, "Why are you always doing this to me?" And Sonia's like, "What do you want me to do?" And Sherry's like, "Well, I just like clearly Sherry is really uncomfortable about doing this because what we find out is that Sonia forgot to tell Sherry when her call time was and just was like, oh, by the way, you have to be here like right now. And Sherry's pissed, and now she has to be pissed on camera, and she looks like, she doesn't want to be on camera looking
it's
all
7
angry.
in the morning, okay? So she doesn't tell her she has to do her hair. She just says, get up. You're supposed to be doing my hair right now. So Sherry has to run down there, get her glammed up on camera, and she wasn't planning on being camera. She didn't have a chance to make herself look decent to be on camera. And then she has to go home and get all the kids ready and do all this stuff and get herself ready to be presentable at this luncheon that's starting in a couple of minutes that she is getting Sonia for, and she is pissed.
Yeah, she's really, really pissed. Is Sherry Sonia's assistant, or does like
it's like
because I know Sherry's husband was
no, not anymore. He quit.
Right,
remember
he quit.
So I think it's like a one because she takes care of the kids. She kind of runs the household. She does everything, I think, in exchange for like living in the house or whatever. So I think she's just kind of, I don't know, one size fits all kind of cis-ploy.
Except for the calendar, clearly. So Sherry is she's like saying like, just because like you're in the thick of it doesn't mean like you can't like tell me what like I have to do, and like sometimes I think you forget how many roles I'm playing because you didn't let me know what time we had to be here today. And there's like a lot of moving parts.
Can I just interrupt you to say I think it's really important to tell you I don't care. Like this is like
I was like, why am I watching this?
It's just like
I really don't
so
care
much
about
stuff I don't care about. So let's go to later. She has big goals for Mommy Nation. Okay, huge.
Yeah.
So people start coming. Courtney comes and just smiles. Courtney does this thing.
Oh, this looks great.
Courtney literally does that the whole time, and nobody's even saying anything. They'll be like, "Hi, Courtney." She's like, "Oh, no, and nod and smile and point at people like she's saying hi to them, and there's nobody that she's saying hi to, and nobody's conversing with her. She's an odd chick.
She is. And she's like, oh, this room is gorgeous. What's the program like? And so Sonia is going to be giving out awards because it'll be like the Emmys, except it's the mommies. So it's a huge honor. Maybe Candy can win one so she could be a MEGOT someday. I'm trying to fix if people are wondering why I'm poking at my camera, it's because I'm out of focus. I'm trying to use a straw to put myself in focus, and all I'm doing is
you're never going to get your
camera.
MEGOT that way. I'll tell you that.
This is not a MEGOT moment. This is not a Webby moment.
So Kenya, of course, is not there. So there, the big drama is like, is Kenya going to come? And so she calls Kenya, and Kenya's problem is that the Mommy Nation staff said Kenya can't bring her +1, and my first question is, who brings a +1 to a charity event that they're auctioneering? Go to work. You're shooting a television show. You don't fucking need a +1. Get to work. So she's like trying to explain. There's like so much shit I don't care about. I can't. This is where I have to stop faking it. Nothing happens. She eventually shows up and aucautioneer shit. And then this lady.
Wait, I have something to say. To say.
Yeah, stop.
I have something to say.
I'm officially. I just.
I got mad about something. Okay, Sonia. Okay, I'm mad. Okay. Well, of course, Kenya's being ridiculous, but Kenya's also holding out because we find out that Kenya's +1 that she's bringing can't be at the same table. There's not room, and they're going to be separated. And so Sonia is like, oh, but like she'll be at the next table, and you're literally going to be back to back with your +1. I'm like, nope, you can't. I'm sorry. If you're calling in that favor, that she gets the +1. Put Drew at the back table. Put anyone else at the back table. Like, I'm sorry, you can't ask your friend to do a favor to be like the auctioneer last second, and then like not like let her sit with her friend. It's bullshit. So Sonia, I say, that was bad.
I agree with you. Although this is a television show where they have to fit the cast at a table, so I'm not sure. Maybe the producers were like, "And another? No, we're not paying anybody else today." You know, who knows? But I agree with you in theory. And I agree with you, not in theory. I agree with you. That's
Yeah,
true.
I
You
just
invite
didn't like that
somebody-
Sonia's first reaction was not to be like, oh, let me see what I can do, because that's definitely not appropriate. Like, her reaction was like, well, but you can be back to back. And I was like, oh, I see what Sherry's been dealing with all this time. And I think that was wrong.
Yeah, and Kenya's not having that either. She's like, no. She goes, okay, we'll figure it out. She's like, okay, thank you. That's really all I need you to say. Okay.
Yeah.
So then Marlo talks about her fake date to everybody, and they start talking about like whether she should be with the chef. And they're like, yeah, chefs aren't rich, and Marlo needs a rich person. And they start describing the man that she needs, and everybody's like, a lot of money. Marlo needs a lot. Basically, Ted Turner without Jane Fonda threatening to murder her every time she sees her in public. Okay.
And Marlo's just happy that her acid reflux didn't act up on the date, and they show her. "Ugh." She's like, oh, I was just really scared it was going to happen. So now Candy shows up, and she has number 69, so she's laughing about that. And she's also exhausted, and she is also leaning into looking exhausted, so that way she can be like, I'm exhausted. She's doing that thing like, I just did 5 concerts in one night, and now I'm here and I'm doing 5 more tonight. So yeah, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, she tells her, I had a concert last night. I drove in this morning to be here. And Sonia's like, oh, and you have a show tonight? Wow, I really appreciate you being here. And then her fake ass turns around again and is like, oh, my friend Candy went to great lengths to be here for me today. But it has been noted that she keeps missing events. And then we see, her missing a lot of events. It's like, dude, you're asking, first of all, you're shit talking someone you're about to ask for a shitload of money from. Like, Sonia's rubbing me wrong.
Yeah, but I think it wasn't the purpose of that. Right?
But
yeah, it wasn't the purpose of that though for her to brag that like, wow, Candy misses a lot of events, but she made time for mine. I'm like, no, it meant the producers finally said, Candy, you got to show up.
Yeah, you got to.
So Kenya's take is still late, so Sonia decides to be the auctioneer, which means she's actually not the auctioneer at all. She's just sort of up there giving out awards. With someone else named Michelle. Michelle, the hostess with the mostest, is giving out the award. So Sonia's actually just saying, everyone, welcome to the event. And she's like giving herself a big pat on the back for doing it. And meanwhile, Kenya like shows up over an hour late, and she's wearing this big red flowery dress. It's petally. It's like everyone's in like business suits, and Kenya's like trying to serve a look. It's just kind of bizarre. And it's a luncheon, and
also I don't really understand. First of all, I don't think they know what an auction is because they don't auction anything off. Kenya just comes out and starts yelling at people to give money. They're not like, hey, guess what? We have this beautiful phone cover. Okay, can we get some? Well, we're gonna start at $100. Kenya's like, I don't think 50,000 is enough. Let's raise 100,000. Candy, you give 5,000. Lady over there, you give 8,000. It's like, this isn't an auction. I didn't get anything for my $5,000.
Yeah, and then Sonia's like, by the way, though, I have a surprise because like I run in a lot of amazing circles, and yes, that is a pun because I have 5 gold medals for running, and a lot of these moms are like incredible moms, and like, but there's one mom in particular who, despite not having a single Olympic medal, is just like an amazing, cool OG mom, and she makes motherhood look so easy, even though I never really saw her motherhood like when their kids were like kids. Now they're just like adults and everything. Anyway, Sheree, Cairo's here. Come see your son.
I mean, you just asked Kenya to auction stuff. She's got a kid. You just Candy just showed up for what are these awards? And some of these awards, I don't even understand who came up with these awards, and how do you know who's best? It's like the best at scrubbing glasses, Moira. Like, what the fuck?
Moira.
What kind of award is it? The best bento box packer for their kids' lunch. Allison. What are these awards?
Your moth is like, Susan really has to accept this award. Can you please just roll that ball off her wing? Thank you.
That moth, that dum-dum, is probably wandering around there dizzy after banging up against the window so much.
I know. So Kenny has the stage, and yeah, this is like now. I mean, Kenny does a good job of this. She starts getting people to put up their little paddles. Kenya bids for 5,000. She just offers $5,000 to start with, and then Candy matches it, and then you can see that Drew does not want to. Drew's like was ready to put in like $200, and she's like,
Drew's the one who came with that like boombox last year for her expensive gift on the expensive gift day.
So Candy's like, by the way, because there's Candy keeps saying, well, there's $50,000 worth right here at this table, basically with the TV stars. So Candy's like, let's see, well, if 50 divided by 7, thinking in her mind, like, well, if we could probably do that. And so Drew goes, 7. And Candy's like, yeah, okay, 7. And Drew's like Drew is not ready to spend $7,000. And but she's trying to act like she's still really...
Like, you're going to work. I'm showing up to work. You can't make me give thousands of dollars to somebody. No.
But everyone's matching at 5,000, and Drew is like, okay, 5,000.
She's like, I'm sorry. I just got a call from JoJo's principal. I'm going to have to take this.
We have to take this outside. Sorry. I think
So then Marlo gives a very severe read to Kenya. Marlo's so bad. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. Marlo sucks at this, okay? She's terrible at her job. I can't believe they hired her again. So Kenya's walking around in this red rose dress, and Marlo goes, you know the Wizard of Oz, when the house lands on the witch, and those ruby slippers are all crumpled up? That's what Kenya looks like. The slippers were never crumpled up. Do you even know any gay people? That's not nothing was wrong with the slippers. Dorothy literally took the slippers off and wore them for like 10 sequels. Marlo, get out of here.
Yeah, I think she was thinking of like a Tim Burton movie where the shoes curled up. Was that like Beetlejuice or something? So either way,
I'm not giving it to her.
No, she shouldn't have it. So either way, they all put in money. Courtney only puts in $2,300, which is why she was merely a friend of. And they raised
good for her. She's like, I'm not paying $5,000 to have one.
I know. She's like, I don't even know what Mommy Nation is. What is Mommy Nation? So they raised $78,000, and Sonia feels great about it. And
they raised 78 promised dollars. 78,000 promised dollars. They are not going to be getting $78,000. I can tell you that entire table is going to back out. I'd be like, I'm showing up for work. There is no way I'm paying you $5,000 to come to work. Okay.
Yeah. Sheree's check will be lost in the mail, unfortunately.
So then that's pretty much it, right? So then they start talking about the trip coming up, and then we get a preview for the rest of the season. It's like mature audiences only. And Drew shoots her like sex video. I guess it's the Candy movie, right?
It looks like is Todd Tucker's movie going to be the thing that breaks up Drew and Ralph? And again, like Drew hooked up maybe with a lady. I was like, really? They're really trying to do the Kyle Richards thing, you know? Like, I mean, technically this happened first. But,
Kyle Richards is trying to do everybody else's plotline as usual, okay? This happened way before the Kyle Richards plotline. Still not giving Kyle anything. It turns out having a break doesn't make me like Kyle more. So weird.
Oh, that's too bad.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being with us on video, everybody. Hi. If you want to watch these and you don't want to be on Patreon, it's okay. Watch them a week later. We're on YouTube. We're accumulating a bunch of videos over there. So if you're bored cleaning the house, go on over there. Turn them on for the day. Listen to us yell. It'll be great. We love you. Thank you for your support. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.